Relocating to a city like Chicago will be stressful. That's why I'm here to alleviate that stress in my latest video, 5 things to do before moving to Chicago, Illinois.
Hi there, welcome. I'm right outside Belmont Harbor in beautiful Lakeview East, Chicago. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Anant Deoras, a local realtor, helping buyers and sellers navigate the world of Chicago real estate. If this is your first time stopping by, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Living in Chicago, Illinois, where I produce videos such as cost of living, transportation, and where to live in this gorgeous city.
Number 1 in 5 things you need to know before moving to Chicago, Illinois, contact me. Yes, contact me right off the bat. It doesn't matter if you're looking with your relocation is a year off or 2 months away. Contact me for a 45 to 1 hour Zoom consultation where we're going to go over multiple things. Number 1, answer your initial questions. You may have a lot of questions. This could be the first time you're watching a video. You could have watched 10 of my videos. Regardless, I'm going to answer your questions on that Zoom call. If you're not comfortable with Zoom, we can also try Google Meet. That would be number 1. Number 2, rent versus buy. It's the age-old dilemma, what you should do. And of course, I primarily work with buyers and sellers of residential Chicago real estate. But if renting is something that you want to do, we're going to look at the pros and cons. My website does handle rental search if that's something that you want to look at. We'll go a little bit more into that into the next step. But that's number 2, rent versus buy. Recreational interests. What do you like to do? Would you like to be by our gorgeous lake front and live in the condos around there? Or would you like to look a little further west and be strategically located by our interstate system to get out to the suburbs? Or something in between? We're going to talk about your recreational interests and kind of narrow it down so we're not looking at a whole bunch of properties, regardless if you're renting or buying. Number 4, do you have an existing home in where you live in your current city that you need to sell? I'm fortunately partnered with eXp Realty, and through that network, along with other brokerages, I know many top-notch realtors that can help you list your current home for top dollar. And then simultaneously, we can work in, once you get those funds available, we can easily do closings same day if necessary. I like to sometimes bake in a couple extra days, and I can explain that more in detail. But if you have an existing home and you need those funds to purchase your home, we will discuss that. And finally, financing. If you're within the 90-day window, then I definitely recommend, and if you want to purchase a property here in Chicago, connecting with one of my qualified professional lender partners to get you pre-approved. They'll be asking for your credit score, some of your credit information. So we're ready to go in case that first property or second property we see is something you want to pounce on. So definitely I would consider financing. If you're a little bit further out into the 6-month range or anything beyond 90, then I recommend we hold off, set up a search on my website, and we can go from there. So that's number 1, making sure you contact me. All my contact information is below, and you're going to see it rolling right on this video.
There are a couple of private resources for buyers and sellers for purposes of this video. The relocation, where I have a 10-step guide here. So this is where you're going to need to, there will be actually a video where I explain. See that? I'm going to pause that. So what you should do is actually create an account. So what I'm going to do here is create an account. And it's very easy. You can see here in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to use my account, but just provide your email and your cell number. That's all that's needed. And while you're in the search, to create a search, now this is assuming we've had our consultation and we have a pretty good idea of what neighborhoods you want to focus in on. I do recommend still doing the Zoom consultation before setting up your search, but it's very simple to create a new property search. You can pick your neighborhoods for purposes of this screen share. I'm going to do Andersonville. Now I have a lot of filters set up here. So depending on what you need, for example, if you want to look at all lofts to style of home in Andersonville, then you would go to style and select condo loft, your price limits. If you have any tax, if you're looking at a particular overall mortgage payment, look at taxes, look at assessments. You can even put in if you want pets allowed, and then go ahead and click search. Of course, so this means in Andersonville, the neighborhood, there are no condo lofts. So that, in a nutshell, is the search of my site. Please create an account. If you have any questions, you can reach out 773-490-6151, and I have the information on in the video displayed in the lower.
For folks that do not have children that they know of, this one here doesn't really apply to you. We're talking about schools. So for everybody else, you really need to start this process of locating, at least getting the preliminary research for your child or children at least a year beforehand, right? So what you're gonna want to do is basically there is 3 kind of steps within this step. We're talking about 5 things you need to know before moving to Chicago, Illinois with the schools. And schools go hand in hand with where you live. So for the neighborhood schools, it's not by neighborhood, it's by boundary. So Go CPS, that's kind of the step 1. Go CPS, I have the website there, you're gonna see it scrolling here, is the online platform for selecting a school for your kid or kids. So you want to go to that website to start, and there is a 5-phase process right over here. Check that out, what you want to do. And you're going to, when you're working with me on finding a neighborhood for your family, we will look at the zip code, and that's the best way. As we're looking here and you kind of drill down to 2 or 3 neighborhoods, or maybe you've located, you see some properties when you come in here and visit, and you've located it. We'll go by zip code to ensure that specific property that you will hopefully close on is within the neighborhood school that you want to send your kids. So that is gocps.edu. You also want to do some research as far as checking the ratings. I recommend niche.com and also greatschools.org for 2 kind of third-party sources you can use, along with looking at the CPS website to determine those schools. And kind of finally, a step 3, Facebook. Everyone's on it. A lot of those schools, as you've kind of drilled down to a couple of schools, now remember there's 3 types, right? Pre-K, K through 8, which is elementary, and then 9 to 12 is high school. So depending on where your kids are going, I recommend going on Facebook, kind of searching. For example, there's a school, Blaine. You can look up Blaine parents, and I can help you with that too, help you with the research. And make sure you try to ask the admin if you can be part of the group, even though you don't have kids currently. Explain to them that you're doing the research and you'd love to pick the brain of parents. It's probably one of the best resources. They've already gone through it, so leverage that. So that's definitely that 3rd step. We're just talked about schools. Let's go on to the next one. Moving to Chicago, cost of living. The cost of living of Chicago. I created a comprehensive 6 major expenses to know before you move to Chicago, kind of the main 6: transportation, buying versus rent, utilities, nightlife, food, etc. Wait till the end of the video, and I'm gonna have that video displaying. But one of the major ones is what I'm in right now is a car. You know, if I had my way, I'd probably get rid of my car, but of course it's critical for my job as a realtor. So when you're evaluating, and maybe you're used to having a car where you live now, but moving into Chicago, as I'll explain actually in my next thing that you need before you move here, you don't really need the transportation. With the great public transportation that Chicago has, one of the best, if not the best, in the US of A, leave that car at home. I mean, just off the top of my head, and of course I go into a little bit more detail in that comprehensive cost of living video, city sticker, parking, insurance, gas, which a large part of the gas here in Chicago is tax. It's probably one of the highest, if not highest, gas taxes, and that's incorporated in the unleaded. Usually if you get 87, unless you've got a car that eats up premium, you're paying way over $3. You're going to see a graphic going by. Well over $3 a gallon for gas. So if you don't need it, leave it at home. Bike, train, both intercity and intracity. Intercity is our wonderful Metro, and intercity is the CTA that will go throughout Chicago. So really leave that car at home. And for an example, in my own parking in my condo, I pay $240. That's not a mistake. $240.
Bike, bus, train. Chicago is that city that moves. And if you're considering relocating, and before you relocate, you really need to understand the transportation modes, options in Chicago. As far as the bike, and I mentioned, and actually at the end of this video, I will have a link, an end screen that will have one of the videos available in my Transportation Chicago. But in a nutshell, basically Divvy runs, if you wanted to get a bike to rent, I go through that. I don't go through the cost, that's my cost of living video, but I go through that mode and where they're all set up. Bus, through the bus tracker, there are so many bus lines. If you don't happen to live by a train, you'll be able to get a bus. So either bus or train will be your modes of transportation. I do always say to not keep the car at home if you can. And finally, of course, trains, the CTA, which is that intra-local versus the Metro. Through Chicago, we have 8 color-coded lines, which include the brown and purple over at Wellington, and the red at Belmont, just to name a few. That is one of the quickest ways. If you live 3 to 5 blocks within that train, you can get down to your downtown job. Or if you live out in the suburbs, you need to take the Metro. So that's what's really critical. Even though this is the 5th step, folks, saving the best for last, you need to know how to get around. You may be used to driving your car all the time, and you're going to be transitioning to living in the city, that city that moves. You need to understand all the modes of transportation. This is Transportation in Chicago. There you have it. 5 things you need to know before moving to Chicago, Illinois. Start doing that legwork now so you're better prepared. I'm going to be here to help reduce that stress. There's always going to be some stress, but I'm going to do my part to help you reduce and alleviate that stress involved with the move. I'm Anant Deoras, local realtor with eXp Realty. Call, text, email, all my information is below. Just click on the title. And as promised, I've got a couple of videos for you to watch right here. Go ahead and check out my cost of living in Chicago video. And you got to know where to live. Start doing the research on some of my neighborhood, which is being updated week over week. If you have any questions at all or any videos that you would like, please reach out. Stay safe.